Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different revelations as well as saga-wide implications in this film that will have a massive effect on both, of course, the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, one of the big characters that a lot of people are really looking forward to is, of course, the character of Luke Skywalker, and are very curious exactly how JJ is going to utilize the character of Luke in Episode 9. Now, in case you guys did not know, Force bonds are going to be a thing once again in The Rise of Skywalker, except J.J. Abrams will be evolving the use of Force bonds and exactly how they will be used between both Kylo Ren and Rey in Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, a description of both Rey and Kylo Ren holding hands, where it's described to be a moment during one of their Force bonds, where Kylo is able to show Rey Disney's version of flow walking that will allow them both of them to see the truth of certain points of the past. It said that Kylo and Rey see many moments of the events set between the originals and the sequels, where in the distance it's described that the environment around them begins to change, where a rear shot of Luke Skywalker is described to be seen igniting his green lightsaber in front of his burning Jedi temple, where Snoke is seen in front of Luke Skywalker with an ignited white lightsaber of some kind, where Snoke is said to be in a different environment. A couple of clashes between their lightsabers are made, showing Kylo and Rey that both Snoke and Luke had once engaged in a flash fight that will soon happen between both Kylo Ren and Rey, where connecting with Snoke and fighting him in anger of what he did to his nephew. It said that as Rey sees this, a tear rolls down her face, where Kylo appears determined as he never saw this happen before his own eyes. The sequence is said to foreshadow the use of flash fights in the film. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this now. What's really intriguing to me about the flash fights is that it allows basically one individual to fight another individual across space and time. And that's exactly what flash fights are going to be like in Episode 9. Now, not only does this sequence between both Rey and Kylo, seeing the moment between both Luke and Snoke going up against each other in a lightsaber duel in a flash fight, connects to the Last Jedi novelization, where it does explain in that book that Luke and Snoke had once mentally connected somehow, some way. And past all of this, we do know that J.J. Abrams wants to explore more of both Luke and Snoke's backstory in Episode 9 that's set between the events of course, the sequels and the originals. That's a big story to tell. It's a very unknown era of the Star Wars universe that I think a lot of fans are just asking for Disney and Lucasfilm to really give more info and visuals on that in an upcoming movie, which is exactly what will be delivered in The Rise of Skywalker. So I want to go over how both, of course, Luke and Snoke are engaging in a flash fight. Now, Luke Skywalker is said to be in the form where it's a rear shot of Luke. You don't see his face in the sequence, but he's going up against Supreme Leader Snoke, where Snoke is in a different environment, and Luke is actually in front of his burning Jedi temple, fighting Snoke in anger of what he did to his own nephew, Kylo Ren. Now, this is said to be the very first time that Kylo Ren sees this moment happening between his uncle and, of course, his master that he killed during the events of Episode 8. And as for Rey, it's very emotional for her seeing this, because it's very emotional in a sense because she's seeing exactly what Luke had to go through and exactly who was responsible for causing Kylo Ren to turn to the dark side, at least for the most part. Now, what I like about this is that this seems like this is basically the worlds between worlds meets, of course, a moment in which Kylo Ren is using flow walking. Now, in Legends, Jacen Solo, which was the EU version of Han Solo's son, he was able to flow walk. It basically allows you to time travel without really interfering anything that happens in the past, and it can't really have a big effect on the future, but you can witness moments in the past. That's about it, and that's all you can do. You can't change anything. And it's a very interesting point because it seems as though that JJ is really trying to implement implement time travel in a very unique way, where it's not necessarily just a vision, but they are actually there witnessing of what happened between both Luke and Snoke on, of course, that unknown world where Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple was burned down, as well as whatever environment Snoke is actually embedded in when he's fighting against Luke in one of their flash fights. Now, this sequence is said to be based within the second act of the film that gives us a little bit of foreshadowing of what's to happen between both Rey and Kylo during their flash fights, where they are going to be transported to the worlds of Tatooine, Naboo, the forest moon of Endor, Mustafar. I mean, the list goes on. It's basically going to be a great way for us to see all of our fan favorite planets, Endor moons, or worlds, whatever have you, in the Star Wars franchise. So that's what I like about this sequence, is that it gives us a little bit of backstory between both Luke and Snoke, and a little lightsaber duel. It sounds like it's going to be a brief one, kind of similar to what happened between both Luke and Kylo Ren in the flashbacks. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.